Hello, good morning students. Welcome to TOS classes once again. And today we are going to discuss a very important topic in physics of class 11, and this topic falls in the lesson number first physical world, and today we are going to discuss the fundamental forces. Okay, many forces we have studied in previous classes, many kind of forces, but in accordance with the physics in 11th class, they have been classified into four fundamental forces. So basically you can say there are four fundamental forces, and few of them, and these fundamental forces are, I'm going to write down on blackboard here. I have write down here: gravitational forces, weak nuclear forces, electromagnetic forces, and strong nuclear forces. So there are four fundamental forces which exist in nature according to the physics. One by one, we are going to study them in detail, and at the same time we'll study their properties. Gravitational force, in the beginning I'm going to explain gravitational forces. What are gravitational forces? Regarding gravitational forces, you have studied in 9th class, and in 9th class you have studied, suppose we have two massive objects. These are two objects. Suppose their masses are, the mass of this one m1, mass of another one is m2. Two objects I have, and the distance between the centers of these two large massive bodies which are spherical in shape is small r. So what the universal law of gravitation states that every celestial body attract other celestial bodies. What I can write, every celestial body attract other celestial body. Okay, and the Newton has said this is the force of attraction, and this force of attraction is directly proportional to the product of the masses of each body. First part of this one, and second part, F, and in this force of attraction is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So what is the gravitational force? Gravitational forces are the forces. It has been observed that according to Newton, every celestial body attract another body with the force of attraction which is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Okay. In next step, when I combine them, I can write down F is proportional to m1 m2 upon r square, and in next step I can write F is equal to g m1 m2 upon r square. What is g here? G you have studied in 9th class also. G is the universal gravitational constant. This is universal gravitational constant. Why it is called universal gravitational constant? Because its value remains constant in whole universe. That's why it's known as the universal gravitational constant. I am going to write down its numerical value, very important. The numerical value of G has been 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11 Newton meter square and upon kilogram square. So this is the first type of basic force that we have studied, gravitational force. And gravitational force, that is a force with which the every celestial body attract other celestial body. Okay, and mathematically you can write down this one, F is equal to G m1 m2 upon r square. G is the constant. This constant is known as universal gravitational constant, and the numerical value of G is 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11 Newton meter square upon kilogram square. So this is your previous knowledge, but some important thing we are going to discuss now. These are the some important properties of gravitational force. One by one I am going to discuss them. am going to discuss some of the important properties. With some examples, I will try to elaborate the gravitational force. And there is a chapter, gravitation, in 11th class also. So here is some basic knowledge I am going to provide you. I am going to write down here now some important properties. Important properties of gravitational forces. Very important part. Important properties of gravitational forces. The first property, gravitational force, that is attractive in nature, means gravitational forces are forces of attraction. Means the two bodies attract each other, they are always the forces of attraction. Second property, very important property, gravitational forces obey. Gravitational forces obey inverse square law. Inverse square law. What is this inverse square law? Actually, inverse square law, that the force is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the two bodies. That is why it's known as the inverse square law, and the gravitational force obey inverse square law. Next one, next property, these are weakest forces in nature. Very important property. They are weakest force in nature. Next one, fourth one, they are long range forces. Long range forces when there is a condition when the bodies are of large mass. And that's why you have also studied that the earth is attracted by the sun due to this force of attraction, and as a result of it, earth move around the sun. In the same manner, the moon moves around the earth because there is a force between the universal attraction force between the earth and the moon. As a result of it, it circulates, it revolves around the earth. These are the basics which can be explained on the basis of the gravitational forces. So what properties we have studied? Gravitational forces are force of attraction, important one. They are not force of repulsion. They are not going to repel repulsive forces. Gravitational forces obey inverse square law. Second one. Third one, they are the weakest force in the nature. Next one, fourth, they are long range forces when the bodies are of large masses. If the bodies are of large masses, they can be applicable to a very large distance. Like taking the examples of earth and sun, they are situated as a very large distance, but even there is a force of attraction between them. As a result of it, the earth moves around the earth. Next one, last property, these are central forces. Central forces. What are the central forces? Central forces are those forces which acts along the line which join the two objects. That's why they are known as the central forces. So today I have discussed with you the gravitational force with your previous knowledge, and some knowledge in 11th class has also been added. I hope that you had understand it well. If you have any problem, then kindly send your comment in comment box. Thank you very much and have a nice day. Thank you.